Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hello, daughter. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Sweet pea. Yes, sweet pea. That's what I call you.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. It's crazy.
Hello.
Hello.
We're smiling.
Oh,
Hey, Dad, you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready. So,
Describe the moment you met your firstborn.
probably the best moment of my life. I saw this pretty little girl. She was just adorable. You know who she is. She's you. I was 32 years old. I was working all right, but I knew I wanted to work more to take care of this little girl. I wanted everything for her. I didn't want to hurt you, so I was a little afraid to hold you because I didn't want to hurt you, but once I got you in my arms, it felt so good. This is my little girl.
Were you afraid to be a dad?
No,
Why not?
because I think I was ready to be a dad.
So I was a 18-year-old kid, just got a scholarship offer to go to the University of Tulsa. And my son came in August, so it was right after college had started. Being a kid, having kids, like having this paternal thing immediately, I didn't have that. It was all shocking. I didn't think I would be the teenage parent. There were a lot of things that were going on. When I saw what my wife had to go through to get him here, and then to see him healthy and screaming and full of life, there's actually a picture that catches me crying, and it's like that paternal thing kicked in, and it's like I finally realized that there was something in this world that is far, far, far more important than me, and that there was something that, you know, I would do anything possible to do right by, and that was my firstborn.
oh man. Moment I met my firstborn. So I was there in the hospital, surreal feeling, overwhelming. Like it's hard to explain the feeling, but it's like your insides just finna explode with just straight warmth. And you know it's like the biggest love you've ever had because you can't explain it. 2017, my grandpa, who's like kind of raised me, because I didn't have a dad growing up really. Like I know who he is. He was never around, in and out of jail. Even when he wasn't in jail, he just wasn't active. But my grandpa, he gets terminally ill, and me and my brother, we taking care of him like at hospice, being depressed from my grandpa passing. Not even 6 months later, I'm a father myself. So it's like firm believer in like all of that stuff comes full circle.
What did your father teach you about empathy?
My father was probably a different man than I am. Well, as a matter of fact, I know he was. I would say he did care for people. Sometimes I think he cared for people more than he did for us. When you're a kid, you're thinking that it's not, this ain't right, but your mind is kind of brainwashed, so you don't know. You think, well, maybe this is the way it go. As I got grown, that's not the way it go. I can't really say a whole lot because to me, he was a very strange guy. Pretty much learned what not to do, yeah.
Not much. Yeah, I'm at a point in my life where I'm trying to figure out how to honor my father post-mortem. He passed some years ago. Our relationship was tumultuous. I didn't learn a lot about empathy from him or a lot of other things. What I did learn is what it felt like to be raised by him, and I attempted to do things opposite of that if I could help it. I don't think that I have reached forgiveness, but I have reached understanding. He had an entire life before he was my father, and that life wasn't all that great either. And there's no manual to like parenting. So we're all out here just doing the best that we can do in that regard. Like it's difficult, like life is hard. You know what I mean? Like life is hard, circumstances are hard. And sometimes people choose vices for comfort. Though I don't agree with the choices that he made per se, I understand why a person can make them, especially the more that I learned about his background.
Ooh, that's tough because I feel like, not just speaking only for myself, but the era and the generation that I was born in, it was a lot of like quote unquote deadbeats or inactive fathers, people who wasn't there. So it was hard for me to learn much, if at all, anything from him. But I mean, like even with that, you still have a choice. Like you either gonna be like that, following those same footsteps, or you're gonna be make your own choice and, you know, break the cycle. And I chose to break the cycle. So I don't know, that's a tough question for me to ask. I don't feel like I learned too much, you know what I mean, as just an example of what not to do in these situations, you know what I mean, or how not to be. I think learning how to be a father is a process. I think it's a learn as you go thing. But the most important thing is effort and consistency. Like if you have those two things, you'll pick up on all of the other things naturally.
Tell me the time your children challenged you the most and how did you handle it?
You know, you were a very good kid, but there was a few times when
Was it teenager years?
yeah, there's, you know, maybe 12, 13. Once I gave you a spanking and you had an asthma attack, I knew I was done. I don't know if it was a fake asthma attack, but
Oh no, I didn't fake those.
I wasn't giving you no more spankings because I didn't want that to happen. And you even went so far to tell me, I said I was going to take your telephone and something else I was going to take from you, your computer or something. You told me to take it. You bought it. When I leave home, I say, Lord, don't let my wife kill my child for talking stuff. Because I tell you, she's talking stuff and I can't hardly take it. But I gotta go.
Dad, thank you for your patience and forgive me.
Oh my goodness, it took a lot of it.
I know. Thank you for your patience and forgive me for every time I talk back to you,
And
teenager. I'm very sorry.
You're welcome, man. You turned out to be great. Look at you.
Thank you.
You're an attorney. You make very good decisions. This was when you were in high school, you know, and you didn't take this from me because I used to love to party. You was at a party. You say, Dad, Mom, come and get me. Your mother said, why, Ozzy, why? I said, don't ask no questions. She said, come and get her, let's go get her. When I got there to pick up, you said, well, they were throwing gang signs and drinking. You didn't want to be around that. Well, that was a proud moment for me. That was letting me know that you were growing up. You were a lot better than me. That party I would have said, hey, we partying up in here.
My wife and I were pretty militant in their upbringing, and by that we mean very no nonsense, very not a lot of room for error. We parented out of fear of a replication of our behavior. My middle boy, he's me 2.0. And so he challenged me to have grace for myself and not be so fearful that because he's so much like me, that he will go down the paths that I went down, and in turn me robbing him of the experiences that are going to make him who he's gonna be. King is my youngest, and he taught me that like being in the moment is the most important thing. And that was a challenge because you want to go and provide, and you want to go, you know, do everything that is necessary to make sure that their lives are comfortable. But like all King cares about is like, I'm there and I can hold him and we laugh and there's nothing, there's no things, there's no checklist, there's no none of that. They've challenged me in various stages of my life, and hopefully graciously is how I'm responding to all of them. But I'm sure that they'll be the judge of that as they get older. And the feedback that I've gotten thus far is that Dad's doing all right.
As a teacher, I teach 27 kids a day. By the time I get home, it's like all of my patience has wore thin. The biggest thing I struggle with my kids is giving them a chance to be kids. I always want to be like, don't do that, you're gonna fall, rather than letting them, you know, experience life and being like, okay, I learned I shouldn't do that because I might, you know, get hurt. Obviously, I don't want my kids to be hurt. Let's get that out the way. But, you know, there are certain situations in which like prime example, my daughter was putting on lotion the other day. And she's 5. She emptied a whole bottle on herself. It's not a big bottle, but in that moment, I caught myself like losing my patience and like, why would you do that? But it's a learning moment for her. You messed up, but you know, next time let's not use as much. And I had to catch myself literally in the moment to say like, she's learning. These are life experiences, and like experience is going to be the best teacher anyway. So yeah, I just had to let her be kids.
What is the most important thing you hope your children learn from you?
I just hope I try to treat people right. And also, don't let people take advantage of you. And I don't know if you remember this, but I've always told you, you can be anything you want to be. And I was going to make that happen. Guidance from the Lord, you will need every day to overcome stumbling blocks. Your self-esteem needs to be high. You as good as gold. You're better than gold.
Be accountable for your actions and simultaneously give yourself grace. Start with knowing that we're capable of making mistakes. Start with understanding that like apologizing isn't weakness, it's truly strength, it's self-awareness. There's been this human experience that people have documented, and there's only been one documentation of something that was without flaw. Though we have a standard that we follow, that we don't begin to put ourselves in a position to think that we could accomplish being flawless. You're gonna mess this up, and that's okay, because everybody else is too.
How to be present. If you're there in the moment, I think that's half the job in itself already. Being present and being in a moment, that's something that you can take everywhere you go. Not just socially, but professionally, anywhere you go. As long as you're present, you putting the effort in to show that you're there, being aware. I feel like that's probably where I would be with that.
What is your ideal Father's Day gift?
So we're gonna keep it cute. I just want my kids around me. I want plenty of like junk food, maybe some beer, listening to music. My wife and I are real big on like the moments that we create and like the memories that we create. And so my ideal Father's Day gift is being surrounded by the things that I love more than anything else on this planet. And it's truly that simple for me.
Father's of all, Father's Day should be a weekend. Let's just get that out the way, bro. We need a couple days. Same with Mother's Day, obviously, but I think I'm living it. This Father's Day has been amazing, like this whole weekend. Positive energy all the time, being around your loved ones, spending that time with them, and then also like being around other fathers. So like my brother, he's a great father. Definitely feeling the love from your kids because you pour so much into them.
A beautiful daughter that I already have my ideal Father's Day gift. I've been headed for 32 years. That's all I need. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You great, baby. You've grown up and just turned out to be a wonderful young lady. That's the best father gift that any father can have.
This was awesome.
Hey.